Yes.
So what if we delete the whole thing?
Then I have a different sheet for you.
Okay.
Okay, so on the sheet it says Transversals Homework 1. It says find the measure of the angle indicated in bold. So one of the things that's actually different about this sheet than what we've done before is that this is not just about finding x, like I've done in the first one, but we have to take it a step further and plug in what we get for x into the bolded expression, okay? So what I want you to do is if you have a highlighter, take it out. If you don't, I have highlighters back there in the pencil box.
Which ones are bolded?
So that's why I want you to take out a highlighter, because you can't really tell which ones are bolded, so I'm going to point them out to you.
Max, what color do you want?
Pink. Blue.
Kobe. That's your basketball team. The basketball?
Okay. So we're just going to go through and highlight these real quick for the ones that are bolded. All right. So in number 1, 10x minus 5 is the bolded one. In number 2, 6x or 64x plus 2 is the bold one.
Do we do this for each one?
Yep.
Why? What we're supposed to do in this assignment?
Because we're finding the degree measure of the angle.
Oh, so that's for each one?
Yes.
Okay.
So it says find the measure of the angle indicated in bold, but you can't really tell between the two which one's the bold one. So, in number 3, it's the top one, 10x plus 15. In number 4, it's the...
How do you know which one's which?
Well,
is it the bigger number?
I have, so they should be bolded. This one I can't quite tell. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to do x plus 125.
How do you know which one's which?
Which one's bolded?
Yeah.
So on my actual, my first copy, you can tell which one is bolded.
Why don't we get the one that has...
Because when I made copies of it, you just couldn't tell anymore. That's it.
So how do we know?
Okay. So you know because I'm telling you which ones to highlight.
Oh, wow.
So you're going to find the highlighted ones. Okay. All right, so turn over the page. So now number 5, the bolded one is 29x plus 4. In number 6, it's 14x plus 4. In number 7, it's x plus 88. And in the number 8, it's 8x minus 2. All right, and that's all you need your highlighter for. So turn back over to the first page. We're going to be starting on number 1. You'll see that I've already started number 1 for you, okay? So on each question, it asks you to identify the angle relationship by saying, what kind of angles are these? So you see it on number 2, what kind of angles are these? So you'll have to answer not only that question, but then you'll have to solve for x. And then we're going to take it a step further with number 1, okay? So just to reiterate, these are corresponding angles in number 1, all right? So one is an interior, one is an exterior angle. Because of what the definition of corresponding angles says in your notes, so here is your key, or your notes, right? Corresponding angles, you'll see right next to that word, it has an equal sign. So that means that they are congruent. When angles are congruent, you have to set them equal to each other. So that's what's happening in the work for number 1. So I set one expression, 10x minus 5, equal to the other angle expression, 8x plus 9. Does that make sense why I set them equal to each other?
No.
So what has to be true about corresponding angles? They are?
One's inside, one's outside.
True, but what about their measures?
They equal 180.
They don't equal 180. They are just equal. They're the same. Okay? So if they're the same, or we call congruent, then we have to set them equal to each other. All right?
Oh, mm-hmm.
All right?
Yes.
So we started this last week. So you'll see that I went through the process of moving numbers and moving variables. So that way we could get x by itself. Okay? That's the goal of this work right here. And I got the answer of x equals 7. Now, I'm not done yet because the direction says find the measure of the angle indicated in bold. So I've highlighted the bold ones with you guys. So that's one that you have to find the angle measure for, okay? So now what I have to do is I have to take this expression, 10x minus 5. What do I have to change in order to figure out the degree measure?
You have to change x to 7.
Good. So I'm going to take out this x, and I'm going to substitute 7 in. So if you need a calculator at this point, you can take your calculator. I have my bin right here. But what's 10 times 7? That's easy enough.
70.
70. So I have 70 minus 5, which is equal to?
65.
Degrees. Which makes sense because this is an acute angle.
How do we get the 7?
So I solved for x in the example right here.
Oh.
So you guys will have to do that on your own, but now I just had us do together the last step. Right?
Wait, so we're supposed to... Wait, so we get 7 by the...
So you get 7 by setting each of these expressions equal to each other. So here's one expression, here's the other one, right?
Oh, this is the next step.
This is the next step. So the first step is to identify the angle type. The second step is to create your equation. And the third step is to get the degree measure.
Oh, okay.
We have to
Simple
do
enough.
these for all of them.
You have to do these for all of them. So we're going to do several together right now, though. And then I'll give you some time to practice by yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
Do number 3.
Number 3. Yeah.
Wait, how did we get 7 for the first one?
So do you see how I did the work all on the left right here?
Yeah, but I see a 2 on that side. But how, does 2 go into 14 7 times?
Yeah, 7 divided by 2 is equal, I mean
Okay.
14 divided by 2 is equal to 7.
No, yeah.
Because 7 times 2 equals 14. Alright, so let's go down to number 3. So I have to answer the question, what kind of angles are these?
Alternate.
Let me point out this. Are some of these lines unnecessary?
See.
Yes.
2 that go like in a triangle that go
Right.
this way.
These 2 lines don't really impact my angles. We don't really need those lines in this
2?
diagram.
Oh,
The 2
triangle
diagonal ones,
one?
yep. We don't need those. Alright, so this is my transversal right here. And instead of 2 parallel lines, I have 3, which is fine. So here's one angle, here's the other one. From these notes, right here, what kind of angles are these?
Alternate exterior.
Alternate exterior. So I'm going to write down alt x for short. Okay. Now, for alternate exterior angles, what's true about these angles? What does it say next to your notes in the parentheses? Someone other than Anna. Again, I got to give everyone opportunity.
What was the question?
So, what has to be true about alternate exterior angles according to your notes? So, from this page, what does it say next to alternate exterior angles?
Outside lines, opposite.
So, just look at this one.
Oh,
What's next to that label, alternate exterior? Annabelle?
equal to.
They're supposed to be equal to each other, okay? So, part of what you need to do in your quiz is write the equation. What's my equation going to look like?
Wait, are we doing this on our quiz?
Yep.
Okay.
So these angles have to be equal to each other. How am I going to set up that equation?
10x plus
10
15 equals 7 plus 11.
Beautiful. Nice job, Peter.
Oh, I'm Albert Einstein.
Okay. So now, again, I like to draw a line through mine.
He was born March 14th. Albert Einstein.
That
Okay.
was just a joke.
All right. So what do I have to do now? What is the goal still?
To get x by itself.
Right. So how do I do that? Max, why don't you start us off with the first step?
We're gonna try to get rid of 15, I think.
Okay, so what are we going to do with 15?
Or subtract.
So I do the opposite. I always want to undo, and what I do to one side,
The other one.
you do to the other one. So these ones cancel out. I'm left with 10x on the left side. What's 7 minus 15?
That's -8. Yeah.
Plus 11x. I'm going to pause there, just so you guys have time to write. And I'm going to come to you for the next step. So just wait for a moment.
Wait, so this is what our quiz is gonna be like?
You're going to have 2 of these kinds of problems.
Have
Only
we,
2.
have we learned this besides right now?
Yes.
I like
This specific part.
Yep.
Where there's like.
We took notes on it in your notebook right here
Oh, okay.
last week.
You were here when I got.
I know.
All right.
Do
So I have 10x is equal to -8 plus 11x. Anna, what's the next step?
You would minus 11
Why?
x to 10 because you don't need it on both sides.
Right, and I want to get x on one side, that way I can define its value. So minus 11x on both sides. So the ones on the right cancel out, I'm left with -8. What's 10x?
-1.
Good, so we have negative x right here. There's 2 ways you could look at this.
Or, wait, can't you do vice versa and subtract 10 on that side and then 7 on
But
15?
then you would have to plus 8 on both sides.
I would, because I can't take away 10x from this side, otherwise I would have nothing on this side of my equation.
You would
Alright.
No,
first
you would
have to-
subtract the 7 from that side.
Yes, you could also start, yep, you could do both ways.
Okay, so I...
You'll get the same answer either way. Okay? So now that we're here, we have a negative x and a -8.
They could be canceled out.
Okay. So if they're both negative, you could just say, okay, I'm going to change them both to positive. The actual math, though, that's going on behind this is technically we have -1x, so I'm going to divide each side by -1. And when that happens, this side cancels out and I'm left with x. -8 divided by -1 equals?
-8.
Negative, it's gonna be x.
Is it 8?
Oh, negative.
Positive 8, yeah.
Negative.
Okay.
It's gonna be...
So positive 8 is the answer.
It's a windy boy out, baby.
And then there's another step, right?
There's one more step.
Sadly.
So, again, I want to find the actual degree measure of this angle right here.
Wait, is it just me, or is that center line a bit tilted?
It's a little tilted.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
Nope. Alright, so now I'm going to take this expression. I have 10x plus 15. And what's going to change about it given our answer down here?
You would put 8 for x.
Right, I'm going to substitute 8 for x. So 10 times 8 plus 15. Order of operations. What's 10 times 8, Max?
80.
So I have 80. Peter, what's 80 plus 15?
Precisely. 95.
95. Beautiful
Do
job.
we always put the new number next to the...
Next to x equals?
Yeah, well...
Or you mean
10
up
was in the
here?
beginning.
Right
yeah,
here?
We always put it next to the number that had x next to it.
You always put this number in for x. So you take x out and you
Oh,
replace
okay. I
it.
see.
Okay? So again, process. We've identified the angle relationship. We've established x's value. And now we've determined the angle value. Okay? What I want to do is I want to do one more with you, that instead of the 2 expressions being equal, they add up to 180 degrees, okay? Anna, can you just take out your headphone for me? Yeah, thank you. All right, so take a look at number 4.
Another
Or do we want to do one of the ones on the back?
I think the same.
Yeah, it doesn't, same process. So we could do, for example,
Number 7.
we could do number 7. Yep.
We could do.
Or number 8.
I want to do 7.
Wait, what is that? 8's kind of.
So 8 is similar to number 3 in the fact that it has those 2 diagonal lines that aren't really needed. Okay.
Could we do number 7, please?
Sure. All right, so number 7 is the one I'm going to next. Please flip over. All right, so you'll see that these angles may not be the angles that can be defined on this page.
But yet they still equal 180.
They equal 180. So what does that tell you about what kind of angles they are? How can we describe them?
It'll be
They're not equivalent.
equal.
They're not equal.
And linear.
So let me go to my prior notes and I'm going to find linear pairs. So it says linear pairs are supplementary angles. The sums equal 180. That's what supplementary means. And they're adjacent. Are these two angles adjacent?
No. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Are these angles adjacent?
Oh yeah.
They are. They're right next to each other. Okay?
Yeah.
So, are they supplementary?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when they're added together, they make 180. So these are a linear pair.
Are we supposed to label them?
Huh?
Are you supposed to always
Know them?
label them? Like, do you have to write?
If it asks you. So like on this sheet, I've intentionally asked you, and tomorrow I will intentionally ask you. But in order to make the process a little bit shorter, I'm going to have you guys labeling angle relationships on separate problems than the ones that you're going to be defining. I think. I might also set it up like this. Because if you can name the angle type, then it'll help you make an equation.
Tomorrow, after we finish this, can we like cut these up and put it in our notebook as examples?
Yeah.
I know that we are also already have examples, but I mean just like these ones.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Okay, so since these are a linear pair, how do you think I'm going to set up my equation?
It would be x plus 116 plus x plus 100 plus 88 equals 180.
Good. So again, both of those expressions added together need to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so Max and Peter, can you rally?
What?
We're doing one last problem together. I need you to pay attention and be focused, okay? All right. So again, we've written both of these expressions next to each other because when you add them together, they need to equal 180. They're supplementary. They're linear pairs. So there's a step right here that I need to simplify my equation. There's a 3-word phrase that we've been using to simplify. Not PEMDAS. There is a hint on page 15 of your notes right here. There is a hint. I want everyone to turn to page 15.
Can I see it?
Hold on, I want everyone to have a chance to find it, okay?
Not there. I can't find it.
You're on the right page, right there. Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
No. Almost.
So there should be 3 letters I wrote on the left problem on number 1.
No.
What 3 letters did I write?
No.
X?
No.
Oh wait, no. CLT?
CLT. Anna, what does CLT stand for?
Combine like
Combine like terms. All right, so we're going to combine our like terms. Annabelle. Sorry, I came out for you. Can you tell me one set of like terms in this problem? What are 2 things that I can combine because they're similar?
The 2 X's.
The 2 X's. So I'm going to put circles around them because I'm going to combine them. How many X's do I have now, Max?
You have 2?
2. I have 1 here and 1 here, so now I have a total of 2X. Peter, what is another term I can combine here? Because they're similar.
Wait, 116 plus 188.
Not 188, just 88, yeah. Alright, so now, if you have a calculator, what's 116 plus 88?
196.
Close, but no.
200.
116.
Yes.
200.
116 plus what?
204.
204. So now I have 2x plus 204 is equal to 180. I want you to use some predictive math strategizing right now, okay?
We subtract 204.
Yes, but before we do that, what can you tell me about 204 in comparison to 180?
It's they don't know that.
True. But what's an obvious thing here? They're both even, yes, but I'm looking for something else.
They're both 3-digit numbers.
They're both 3-digit numbers. How are they different, though?
One's 200.
One's too big.
This one is bigger. Because 204 is bigger,
It's not.
what is that going to mean for our value of x later on? It's going to be negative, okay? Because we're taking away more than we have. So Peter's right. We're now going to take away 204 from both sides.
Of course.
These ones cancel out because they add to 0. I have 2x left on the left side. What's 180 minus 204?
24, negative 24.
So we have negative 24.
So it's going to be equal to a negative. Oh, and then you divide by 2.
Beautiful.
And that's going to be equal to negative 12.
So x is equal to negative 12. Am I done? No.
Oh my God.
Which angle do I need to solve for their degree?
That one.
X plus 88.
X plus 88. So I'm going to write x plus 88 over here. What's going to change?
The x is going to turn to negative 12.
Beautiful. So I have negative 12 plus 88 equals?
It's going to equal a solid 68.
Close, but nope.
64?
Nope.
Wait,
No. 66.
That's a toughie.
What is the answer? Is there a question?
No. 76.
There we go. 76. Positive 76. So it's 76 degrees. That's what it's saying. All right.
Wowzers.
We got it, boys.
All right. It is 2:11.
Is class
Right.
over?
We have 5 minutes. I want you to pick one problem to do right now
Oh my God.
to try on your own.
Wait, since tonight
Why do we-
I'm going to come around and assign you 1 or 2 other problems to do for
But
homework.
there's
Oh
going to
my
be
God.
3 other problems.
So you're either going to have 2 to do or only 1 of them. Okay? So you're going to do 1 right now. Go ahead and get started.
Wait, so
I'm going to leave
how
this
did
up
we
here.
get 88 to be over? I thought it would be negative 12 over. But actually, wait.
We got negative
Never
12.
Never mind. Got
This
it.
is the degree.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're picking any one to do right now.
Did we do number 2?
You can do number 2.